to what is the May edition. Let's assume that's going to work. Okay, so give us your silly wave, everybody. Let's give this a go. Jose, this is your first demo night, but you must realize you've got supposed to smile, right? It's supposed to be fun. It's not a scary thing.
Sorry.
Okay. It's great to have you all here. And as ever, this is being recorded. It's going to go onto the YouTube channel, and it's out on the Facebook Live right now.
Sure.
We've got representation from India, from Portugal, and in the UK via Spain today, just for fun. All right. And of course, we have our CTO in residence, Matt. And Matt, just before we kick everything off, what's your announcement you want to make today?
Yeah, so got a super exciting announcement today. So High Yield and Canopy are going to partner to launch a competition. So we're launching it today at this demo night, and we're going to announce a winner at the June demo night. And it's for a 2-week UX UI design sprint with the High Yield team for free. And that can be used in any way you want as a startup. So it could be you're a founder just with an idea, want to explore that idea, prototype it and work it up into a visual. Or it could be an existing product, but you want to explore some new features and functionalities or user flows. All you've got to do is go to the website, highyield.co.uk/canopy, and you'll be able to apply. Let us know what your idea is, and we're going to have a panel of experts choose who they think should get the winnings for that competition, and we'll announce that at the next demo night in June.
Fantastic. Thanks, Matt. Well, we're going to promote that every day for the next month, and we look forward to announcing the winner and having them here to talk at the next demo night. So congratulations, everybody. Come on, apply away. Neil, what you probably could do with some free sort of discovery work, right? Do you want to?
Oh, absolutely. I've got a good idea. I'm not entirely certain it's going to fit within 2-week sprint, but we can squeeze it in, Matt. We can squeeze it in.
Obviously, you got to be appointed the winner, of course, and I guess Matt's on the judging panel, so good luck with that. All right. So our format today is a traditional one, which is 5 minutes for the demo, 5 minutes Q&A. We may let the Q&A run a little bit longer because that's the point of these remote ones where we get to really get a bit more deep into things. And we'll see what questions come through the Facebook Live, etc. But you've got me and Matt here to begin those conversations. Running order is going to be SB to begin with. Then we're going to go to Jose, then we're going to go to Neil, and let's see how it goes. All right. So we run these every month. Matt, do you even remember why we do this?
Because it's fun.
And because the #1 failure in startups globally is?
No market need.
We literally build stuff that no one wants and needs. And that is because as founders, we spend a lot of time in here and not a lot of time with what God gave us here, right? And actually, with a little bit of work here, we can find out what people really want us to do, and their feedback and their insights are the ones we got to listen the hardest to. Not just because they tell us, oh, yes, that's exactly what I want, but more because they tell us what they would do with it if it was for them, and that's how we align with needs. So let's see. Bizarre to think it's nearly 40%, or the root cause of nearly 40% of all startup failures globally is exactly this problem. Really smart people and hundreds of millions of dollars get thrown at ideas that no one wants and no one needs, at least not now anyway. All right, so with that in mind, SB, tell us what you got. Let's give you your 5 minutes and I'll set the timer here. And good luck to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over to you, my friend. Start whenever you're ready.
Just give me 1 minute. You're able to see my screen, right? Yeah.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
I'll set my time. Okay. Yeah.
Go, go, go.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Stevens. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Matt, for giving us this opportunity. We are a brand called Matsto from Bangalore, India. We are a fashion brand. We are riding on the Indian consumption, massive consumption story, and for which we would, our ask is $650,000 as seed fund. So every person has a story and every story is unique, right? Matsto is trying to reflect the stories and it's through its products and its philosophy. We are a menswear brand. We are young and energetic mass premium clothing brand offering high quality on-trend clothing at affordable prices. This is the brand's products, just to get the feel of it. There are some happy customers out there. I'm Prashant. I've got 12 plus years of experience in fashion retail space, both in online and offline. These are the companies I've worked with where I've learned with their scale. I've done my master's in fashion management from National Institute of Fashion Technology. So I'll quickly take you down to the market opportunity. $10 billion market is what is there for online fashion retail space in India, which is poised to grow to $35 billion in the next 5 to 7 years. That is because of the internet penetration that is happening. The opportunity here is for such a large market, we have less than 1% of the brands, of all of the fashion brands, doing more than 1,000 crores INR. So yeah. So that is
Can't just throw a crore in there, SP, without telling people what it means, right? Not everybody hears.
Crore is I actually am not able to 10,000. Just give me 1 minute. 10,000.
So it's 10,000 million USD.
Million dollars, yeah. So we are a little, yeah. $10,000 million. Yes, this is less than 1% of all of the fashion brands are reaching that point. So that is the opportunity. Let me take you to the problem quickly. So the 97% of the brands are less than $1,000 million. That is a cluttered market, right? They're not able to scale. The reason they're not able to scale is they're not exploring the offline channels. The tech partnerships are missing. The SaaS companies provide you a solution with auto management, returns, everything. So that partnership is missing. And the third and fourth point is capital. Capital is not flowing into this industry. What is happening is this industry, as we speak, is run by the bigger guys, the Reliances, the Landmark Group from Dubai. As we speak, they are running the show, and they do not need that external space. Now, what is happening is this younger consumer is changing their buying behavior. I mean, they need that meaning and purpose in the brands, right? So that meaning and purpose is being given by these smaller brands, but they are lacking the access to the capital, and that's why I think the time is right even for the investors to look into the fashion industry in India. And so, what is the solution? You have to have extensive assortment across the verticals. We are in menswear, we are in shorts and track pants majorly. We can go shirts, denims, trousers. I mean, so to speak, extensive catalog, extensive sales footprint across the channel. You can go ahead and have organized offline channels. There are lots of them, thousands and thousands of offline channels. You can go and tie up with them. Once you have that assortment, once you have that sales footprint, you have to manage your scale with technology. What happens is it is very execution heavy, and you have to, without technology, you can't manage those thousands of SKUs. And what have we done so far? We have sold 60,000 pieces. Our monthly average revenue is $10,000 US dollars, and 7.5 US dollars is our average bill value. And we have reached 120,000 US dollars this financial year in revenue. And this slide talks about what we are selling on the left hand, where we are selling on the left hand side, and what we are selling on the right hand side. Ajio, Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart, these are the channels that we are selling it. Unlike US, we have got a lot of marketplaces to expand ourselves. Each of them have got equal impact, and so your revenue will be collectively high. And what we are selling, we are focused on bottom wear, especially track pants and shorts, for the reason bottom wear is more profitable and the competition is less. These are our competitors: Campus Sutra, Bewakoof, and Indian Garage. They were launched like 5 to 6 years before, when Indian digital space was taking off. They just were there in those marketplaces, and just with extensive catalogs, and they've reached that roughly about $30-35 million today. What they have done differently is few of them have gone ahead and expanded in global marketplaces, and brands like Indian Garage has tied up with Reliance offline stores so that they've got that offline space, wall space.
All right, SP, pause. That was your 5 minutes, okay? It's amazing how quickly it goes, right? So my first question while Matt gets himself ready is to say, AJ, do you have anything that you would like to add to this 5 minutes of stuff?
Okay, I think I just have this slide. Can I go talk through this slide only?
Well, just check what AJ wants to add, because he hasn't said anything yet, and then we'll come back to you. Don't worry.
Yeah, so with any company that we see, we usually look at what is the differentiator. And with Madstore, one thing is very clear, that reached such a huge revenue with just one employee. And when I heard that story, I was like, hey, what are you doing? You have already cracked the unit economics. You're profitable from day one, and you should now just scale using the access to capital, right? So that's one liner. And this slide, I think, is the crux and solves a lot of questions.
And we're all also very excited about plus size. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Throw it in, SB, and then we'll let Matt do his question. What do you want to tell us about this this slide?
Is it for me, Steven?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Tell us about this slide, and then we'll move to Matt.
We have always been focused on the fundamentals of business, being lean, being efficient, being profitable from day one. In fashion industry, what happens is no matter how innovative, what research and develop you do, your style and design gets copied the very next day. Not even with the product, just the image is enough for your product to get copied. So we knew that from the start, and so we didn't focus there as a product differentiator, but we always wanted to differentiate in the business fundamentals, being lean, being efficient, being profitable. No brand in country is running the brand at those scales is with one employee. That I can assure. And we are also we are very bullish on the plus size penetration that is happening. Plus size industries boom, right? We are already touching 45% of our entire sales through plus size alone. We have launched like 6 to 7 months before. We have already reaching the industry average is 20-25% of the plus size to overall sales. We are already at 45%. We are very bullish. We want to focus there, and probably we want to make it big going forward. And our lead times are faster. Our lead times are faster compared to other bigger brands. The way we do it is we have tied up with many factories, and we train them with our DNA. We train them the product DNA, and then what happens is we split the sales and we receive the sales back the way exactly we want. And that way, the lead time shrinks massively compared to the bigger brands who take 4 to 5 months to launch. We take 1 to 1.5 months to launch. Yeah, and apart from these few other modes the brand has got is we are very cost effective. The average cost price is as compared to the major competitors is like 30-40 rupees. I mean, $5-6 less than. We are very cost effective, basically. Yeah, that's one of the modes apart from these. Yeah.
Thanks, SB. Come on, Matt. What do you want to ask him?
Well, firstly, thank you. It's really, really interesting to find out more about Madsto. I guess from a technology lens, what platform are you using for your e-commerce activity? You mentioned quite a few times, but obviously technology is helping you scale.
Sure. So there are, like Amazon in US, we have like 20 to 25 different marketplaces, out of which 5 to 6 are very prominent. And what the beauty of it is, there is that Indian massive consumption happening, and these guys are driving the sales. These guys are spending thousands and crores in their marketing spend to drive the traffic to their apps, to their websites. And this is the space we are in. We just have to be there with larger assortment, and you will become a sizable brand just by being there in these marketplaces, because the consumption is already there. They are driving the traffic, and then once you become sizable, then you get those cash flows back into your own website, and that's our thought process. Yeah.
So the technology that you're using for are you just using marketplaces like Amazon to sell your products?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're not selling off of your own website as well?
We are selling our own website on our own website, but the sale is less than not even 1%. So maximum sale is being driven by marketplaces. Yes.
And are you using technology to essentially join all of those marketplaces and stock together?
Yes. Yeah. We are using a platform called Unicommerce, wherein we get centralized inventory in one place, virtually under one place, and and entire order management, return management, this is a SaaS-based company called Unicommerce. We are tied up with them, and so we use that software.
Okay, so you haven't got proprietary technology. You're kind of using other platforms that are out there. So from a technology point of view, it's more about kind of your brand and how you're positioning yourselves, but is your differentiator rather than your technology.
With respect to technology?
Yeah, so it's not the technology, but it's not your own technology. You're using another platform. So for you, this is more about your kind of brand awareness and how you're positioning yourselves as a company.
So as I said, our thought process is to make a sizable brand, $40-50 million by leveraging these marketplace platforms that are available. Once we are there at that number, sizable brand, we would want to use that into creating our own brand story. I think it is very. When I am getting these questions as what is your differentiator, but what I'm saying is there is that drive that is happening. I mean, it is as simple as that drive along that boat, right? I mean, you just have to be in that boat. With, of course, if my brand was not different, having said that, if my brand was not different, I would not have sold 60,000 pieces. I have got different ideas to tell my brand story. But once it becomes a sizable brand, I mean, I would want to use all that marketing spend can after becoming a sizable brand. For becoming a sizable brand, I have the platform now. So I just want to use that leverage and then use that cash flows into, I mean, you're building brand stories and acquiring customers. Yeah.
Okay, great. Stu, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, I was actually going to ask Neil if he had any feedback or any questions on this before we move on to Jose for his demo. So Neil, what do you think of this kind of stuff, and any questions or feedback?
Well, yeah, I'm struggling on the differentiator. Yes, I'm sure that raising whatever amount of money you're after will enable you to grow, but your competition aren't sitting still. Why? Yeah, they may be able to raise the money easier, maybe more than you. And what is to stop them doing what you're doing?
Sure. So as I said, no one is as lean as at my scale. No one is as lean as me. And what we have done very differently is we have focused on bottom wear. Unlike all the competitive brands that we have, all are majorly heavily built on the top wear, that is t-shirts. T-shirts we thought from the beginning is very cluttered, and since it is a low cost product, it is very competitive. So we have focused on the bottom wear. And bottom wear is getting numbers for us, and bottom wear plus size is a magic for us. So that is what we have cracked, and we would want to build on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the interesting reflection as well, SB, of course, is that India is very much a growing market, of a hyper-growing market at the moment for consumption and these kind of things. And we're maybe not used to seeing the kind of scale that you're accessing at the moment. Jose, any questions or feedback before we end this one and then turn to you for your demo?
No, I think, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and congratulations, like you're quite successful already, and as you explained, the market is really big, so there's a lot more that you can do, and I think you're doing a great job in diversifying in all these different products that you're selling and all these different platforms that you're selling. And so just gotta say congratulations. It's well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to add one more point, if you allow me, Steve.
Yeah, you can have one last bit. Jose, he's waiting, ready. He's super.
So
if you could stop sharing your screen while you're talking, that's great, and then Jose can get ready for his.
Yeah, just about this screen. These are my competitor brands. These are like $30-35 million. These have done exactly what I've spoken now. They have spent zero marketing cost. They were just riding the boat when the digital market was taking off in India, like 5 to 6 years before. And luckily, that boat is still going on. It will go on maybe 6 to 7 years. It is not that we do not have a brand positioning as such. We would want to be a strong bottom wear brand in the market, which competitors are lacking, and adding to that is plus size. So my point is they have grown. They have made their revenues based on the market consumption that is happening around. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, SB. Thank you, AJ. All right, now we move over to Jose.
So,
my friend. SP, if you can stop sharing the screen, man,
I'm
and then
sorry.
There you go. Let's see if it works. So second screen. Can you guys see the PowerPoint presentation?
of course, yeah,
Yeah.
looking good.
And
And of
I'm
course, you are slightly different to Mads, though, right? So let's see where this
yeah, just slightly different. Yeah. So I'll just do the full screen. You should be able to see the full screen, correct?
Yeah, and your 5 minutes starts now.
All right, great. So good afternoon. My name is José Simões, and I'm one of the co-founders of Decarbonate Plus. So did you know that in the European Union soils, just in the first 30 centimeters of soil, there are 75 billion tons of carbon sequestered? Currently, the EU caps the amount of carbon emitted by a specific industry, and it distributes this amount in the form of carbon credits that can be traded in between the different players of that industry. However, while farming is the biggest retainer of carbon in the world, farmers don't have an easy access to these markets, and this is where Decarbonate Plus steps in. Decarbonate Plus is a platform that allows the trading of carbon credits generated by farmers from a specific municipality, and we also provide a variety of services ranging from relevant educational material to consultancy and smart farming tools. And furthermore, we also provide several farmer and municipality partnerships. Thus, with all these benefits in mind, we bring a lot of advantages to the different players in our ecosystem. The farmers develop a new source of income while increasing soil health and productivity. The municipalities become greener, which in turn leads to more people and investment towards them. And the industries can neutralize their carbon emissions by buying these carbon credits. We provide two primary sources of service: a carbon credit market where you as a farmer or a carbon credit sequester can place your carbon credits and sell them in our market, where we take a 5% fee and you take a 95% value of the money sold. And we also provide several farmer municipalities, farmer partnerships that generate an average for 480 euros per year per farmer. In addition to this, we also provide 3 complementary sources of revenue. As for the competition, we can see we are the ones with the most key partners and diversification of services provided, with special relevance to the different partnerships that we would develop with the municipalities and the farmers, and as well as the satellite technology that we use to measure the carbon sequestration. As for the team, we are a team of 8 entrepreneurs with backgrounds ranging from soil sciences to business management. However, we all share the same passion for sustainable agricultural practices. Our goal is to reach 1% of the total market share in Portugal by 2024 and 10% by 2027, establishing ourselves as the #1 voluntary carbon credit market in the south of Europe, sequestering in total 390,000 tons of carbon. Currently, we are at the TRL4 level with a developed prototype and working on the development of the final platform so that we can then enter the Portuguese market with around 40 to 50 municipalities partnered and 400 to 500 farmers partnered, so that we can then make an international expansion starting with Spain. The surge of the carbon credit markets is inevitable, and we at Decarbonate Plus want to be 3 steps ahead of the present. We are currently looking for partners that share the same objective of increasing our wallet of clients, either being farmers or potential carbon credit buyers, so that together we can develop a more sustainable agriculture in a more sustainable planet. Thank you very much.
Look at that. You're a timekeeping dream, aren't you, my man? That's amazing. Okay, so a little bit of time back on everything. Matt, what questions do you want to ask?
Yeah, that was really interesting. Thanks. I think from my point of view, from a technology point of view, it'd be really interesting to just hear a bit more about the MVP that you're building, and maybe a bit more detail about how you're using that to interact with the carbon credit marketplace, or how that technology connection or interface works.
Yeah, definitely. So I can even show you some pictures of MVP. So this is the first thing you interact with the website. You get a small description. And in this case, we have 4 municipalities in Portugal, which we're already speaking with in regards to practicing these markets in those municipalities. And then you get access to your area. So this is going to be your personal area, and how the market works is as if it is like a carbon credit stock market. So you can see here all the carbon credits you sold. How it works is very simple. You send us a certificate of a carbon credit project, and then we certify that it is exactly tons of carbon that you say it is. So we don't promote greenwashing. So we certify that that certification is proper, it's everything well done. And so that is effectively, like, say, 5 tons of carbon. Then we allow you to put those tons of carbon into our market, and you can manage those assets as you want to. On this personal area, you can see your trade volume in terms of money and in terms of volume in terms of carbon credits sold, and you can see your average price and your average offer volume. You can also see in this page is the volume you're selling. So like in this example, you're selling 90 tons of carbon, but you can define the price per ton, and you can also define the minimum and the maximum order, which means that you can define how much someone can buy from those 90 tons. So let's say you can define it that minimum amount of those 90 tons is you need to buy in minimum 10 tons, and maximum you can buy 20 tons, which doesn't allow someone to buy all those credits just straight away, just like that, and ruins the market effectively. You can see here is an example. So you're selling, for example, 3 tons of carbon. This is the price you're selling them for. This is the tax that we take, so the 5% of that, the 4% of that value. This is the tax depending on the country that you're working with, which in Portugal is 23%. And this is the overall value that you're going to be placing them in the market at. And this is the example of the market itself. So one benefit that we can see here is that we can use different commodities. So this is very interesting in the fact that if, let's say, for example, the European Commission wants to do, for example, a methane market, we can also integrate it into our market, because it's just as simple as integrating a new commodity into the market. So we're going to start with carbon credit markets. And so if the situation progresses and let's say they start a methane market, we can actually integrate this market into our market, and then we become not only a carbon credit market, but for example, methane credit market, for example.
Great. It's like, here's one I prepared earlier. Great to have the screens all ready to go. From an MVP point of view, what would you say is your biggest technical challenge as part of the MVP?
So currently we're working, the MVP isn't live yet because we're just doing some documents with Google, because for the MVP, we're using an integrated system with Google where you can enter the website with your Gmail. And so we're just filing some documents with them. It should be done in 2 weeks, give or take. Then we can launch it live. The technicality part of it is just the sheer amount of credits that you're going to be doing. We also want to implement an automatic paying system, so we don't have to intermediate the whole thing. And so technically speaking, that would be one of the most difficult parts of that, pretty much. And then going international, we will also need a bigger structure to go internationally, because the amount of credits you can make internationally, it's much bigger.
And would you say that that's going to be a seamless transition from MVP into a full build that can handle that scale, or is the MVP really there to validate the assumptions that you have around the marketplace at the moment, and you'll look to re-platform when you have to achieve that scale?
Yeah, so we currently want to start working with Portugal. And then working solely with Portugal, we think it's going to be seamless. It's not going to be that much of a big challenge, because in Portugal, you have the average farming land is between 50 acres. So it's not that much farming land. So in terms of carbon credits, you're not going to need as much of a technical structure, because we also don't work with blockchain. We just work with carbon farming projects. So it's the database needs to be lower. And so in terms of Portugal, we think it's going to be seamless. However, when we're going international, because we want to do, for example, we're going to do Spain, we're going to do Italy, we're going to do Greece, then we think we're going to be a little bit of a bigger database, because again, the values are going to be bigger in terms of the amount of things that we have to use on the website and the amount of payments. So it's going to be a little bit more trickier. But in terms of Portugal, we think it's not going to be that big of an issue, technically speaking, to develop the MVP to the final platform.
Okay, great. Thank you. Really interesting.
Thank you
for that. Well, let's open up to some of the others. So Neil, what do you reckon of this one? You've probably seen a few carbon credit stuff in Cornwall, right? So how does this compare?
Stuff down the back of the sofa. Yeah, no, I think what you've got tech-wise looks very strong. I'm loving what you're doing, trying to contribute, make this thing better, make the world better, make it easier for the farmers to do what farmers need to do, which is, yeah. My only worry is not entirely certain. I've heard some suggestions that carbon credits might not be delivering what they were designed to do, i.e. cap carbon generating activity. So I'm just wondering, yeah, whether there's other things further down the line that you might need to cope with. I suspect the market model that you're hooking into and you're there to make work, there will be a market model, but whether it's exactly carbon credits, I don't know. I don't know very much about it. It's only what I'm hearing that.
Yeah, so if I may, to combat the greenwashing, we only accept projects that are certified, and the certification comes from the Portuguese government in this case. So the Portuguese government certifies your project, then we can put it into the market because it is certified by the Portuguese government that is effectively a ton of carbon that is sequestered. In terms of the market itself, the market model, we're not only enabling the farmers that work with us to place their credits there, but also other carbon sequestering companies to place their carbon credits there. Because at the moment, let's say you're a big company like BP, you want to buy carbon credits to neutralize your emissions. You have to go, for example, to 5 different companies. You have to negotiate 5 different prices. And it's a lot of work for something that can be simplified in just one simple market. And so that's why we take such a small fee, because we don't want to, it's more of a commodity. It's like selling houses. You're not selling your house one by one to each client. You put it on a market, and then the market does the work for you. You don't have to do it. You pay a commission for it, but it simplifies your life, and it's much more simpler in terms of carbon credits. Because currently you have to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different companies. You have to negotiate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different prices, and then you have to select the best price out of those, and then it takes way too long. In my opinion, when you can make a standard market, it's not. Doesn't make too much sense.
It looks very strong what you've got. So yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
So, Stu, I had a question for Jose.
Go ahead, AJ. Sorry, I got distracted there for a moment.
So Jose, the concept of decarbonizing, right? So that itself, many might not be aware unless government puts out rules and regulations, like in UK, like 2035, all vehicles need to comply and all of that. So how are you creating other than these newsletters and the social media? Because when I checked out the Decarbonate social media accounts, looks like you have been there for close to 4 years now, but then the numbers are a little less.
No, we're relatively new, so we're just about 1 year old on July or June, I think. So relatively not 4 years. We're currently working with the municipalities, and so the municipalities also promote that decarbonization. And the Portuguese government wants to be carbon neutral by 2045, so they're also pushing to get this carbon neutrality into the mix as well. But it's definitely our social media presence and our online presence is something we definitely want to start working on a bit more, so that we can start making a big impact. But it's definitely something in Portugal. There's been a big rise of companies working with carbon credits with farmers specifically because of that, because it's starting to be a big business, especially in the forestry systems, because we have a lot of eucalyptus production, and the eucalyptus sequester a lot of carbon really fast. So it's really interesting in terms of carbon sequestration. I don't know if that answers the question, or
It does. Thank you. Thank you. And other than farmers, is there any other sector that you are working closely with? I know municipalities and the government, yes, but anyone else who you see as the a major share to your business as a user?
definitely forestry producers, because forests sequester considerably more carbon than farms. And in the future, if we can, we wanted to attack the sea sector. So you can probably use algae to sequester carbon as well. So that can be also a way to sequester carbon. That's in the future, not currently. So currently it's more municipalities, farmers, and forestry sectors. But in the near future, we would be interested in working with the sea sector to sequester carbon as well, because it seems very interesting when you use algae to sequester carbon.
Sure. All the best. And yeah, the vehicle manufacturers also could partner with you. Not sure they are.
And working with, for example, companies. So let's say if you're a rice producer, you can put all your rice providers into our platform, then you share the revenue with rice providers, for example. So there's a ton of ways you can put different companies related to the agri sector into the platform working with us. So yeah.
See, now you've said rice producers, it makes me think about the Rice Museum, and now I want to go back to like Troya and all the way down that coast and go and see that. So anyway, all right, thank you very much for that. Round of
Thank you.
applause. If you could, brilliant, thank you very much. All right, Neil, you're going to bring us home. And we've been very good on time and efficient stuff today, Neil. So I'm just saying, man, I'm going to keep you to 5 minutes and then let the Q&A run, all right?
What could possibly go wrong, mate?
I don't know, man, but you've already got a reputation inside the community. I'm just saying, okay?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Well, I'm hoping you can see a nurse that's looking pretty sad.
Yeah, she's looking, well, she's on the screen anyway. All right, good luck.
Okay.
So your 5 minutes, if you're ready, we can start them. We can start now.
Imagine if we did not need the likes of COVID to bring communities together and wake the world up to what is important in life. Imagine communities engaging, working together to make their places better, more prosperous, more sustainable, more healthy. This is where GoCollaborate comes in. My name is Neil Kirkland. I'm the CEO and one of the 3 founders of GoCollaborate. 3 years in the making and a product of Falmouth University's Launchpad program, GoCollaborate came from the realization that current engagement practices are unfit for the 21st century. In response, we've built the only affordable platform for engaging communities easily to get informed comment and to position for ongoing engagement. Built and tested in 2021 with revenues to date moving to 100K, with investors having put in 250K, we now have a platform that is ready to scale and scale at speed. But we could do with a little support and ideally some more money. The GoCollaborate team is a rich mix of experience, youth, and thoroughbred expertise. When I said that, Matt, I was looking at you, mate. After 2 years, we are now clear on where we should be going first, where markets are bountiful, where competition is minimal. But there is much, much more available, both in the UK and across the world, particularly in relation to self-serve and pay-to-play. Think SurveyMonkey with bells on. Partners and joint marketing agreements are in place and paid up. In short, we are ready to go. I'm just going to switch to the platform seamlessly. He says,
do you need me to distract the audience in any way? Are you okay?
Indeed. So this is our Anywhere community platform. It's a demo platform. It's built with our clients and personalized for their communities. And we work with the clients to use social media and QR codes to get their communities to the platform. From a user perspective, the platform has 2 halves: the high level of information to ensure that the community understand why the consultation is happening, and the questions and answers. The questions are presented in themes to ensure everybody knows what they're getting into. Questions may be simple binary questions, multiple choice free text, or in this case, a map-based question. Unlike the competition, all questions are supported by PDFs, maps, or images. For each question, users can leave public comments. They can also leave private comments just for the board. Whilst the community are doing their stuff, the client has access to the customer portal and the incoming data. They get real-time data on who's engaging, the incoming comments, and the results. The portal is also where we work with them to build the platform and message the users to maximize engagement. That's good, isn't it? It was working beautifully, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm determined to show you this bit. And that's the basics. That's the basics of what we've got. So yeah, you no longer need to imagine in vain what it would be like for communities and generations to work together. GoCollaborate have a platform to make it a reality. This is reflected in how it has been received, which is near to universal acclaim. What we are now looking for is partners and mentors to work with us. And we would also be interested in new investment. And I should have had it on the big screen, shouldn't I? And that's it, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
All right, not bad, Neil. You kept to the 5 minutes. I'm very proud of you today. Thank you very
Go on,
much.
give us the time. Give us the time, mate.
You were 4 minutes 45 by my clock. So let's
there you
pretty
are,
going.
Easy peasy.
And we've got a
I think
new
that's definitely a
panelist joined.
first.
So before, well, I might mentally adjust to the fact that he's seen his own product up there on the screen. Elizabeth, what do you reckon to this, and what's your questions?
Thank you, Neil, for that. I appreciate your time, and I particularly enjoyed the demo. I'd really like to have some more time to just talk to you about it, actually, since it's rather interesting. But the question is, you just mentioned about follow-on funding, follow-on investment. What purpose exactly?
Self-serve, pay-to-play, SaaS. We look at SurveyMonkey, and quite frankly, SurveyMonkey is not a very good product when compared against our product. Our product has the information that is required to get informed comment, to engage communities. It's all there. And I look at SurveyMonkey, and what they've done is leverage the SaaS model, and you can see how successful they've been doing it. So yes, a fully functioning pay and play self-service model is really what we'd like to explore.
Okay, can I ask a follow-on question, Stuart?
Of course you can.
Thanks. I'm very interested in usage of data and how you are managing people's data. Of course, how do you see that? How do you see people engaging with their data specifically? Because you're focused very much around B2B. Is there any B2C element to that at all?
We've not explored that per se. We've recognised that town and parish councils in the UK and communities and housing associations, housing developers, amongst others, need to talk to their communities. So that's where our focus has been. But I think the platform, as we're finding the last few weeks, we're doing something for an organisation called Anthropy. Some of you may have come across it. And it's really showing how strong the foundations are. So yeah, if there's opportunities to do other things, other markets, to move to B2C, then I'm sure we would be very open to looking at it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Over to AJ and then to Yana.
So Neil, with communities, there are different types of communities. Any specific types of communities that you're focusing on?
No, because all the communities, they've got no way to work together. It's that, there were no affordable way. There are some solutions. We're priced at £3,000 book price. The other solutions, much more techy, much more complicated. You're talking 2.5 times that, 3 times that, and rising. So we're focused that our belief is that there is a community need for them to work together, for them to be engaged. So we've put something out there that is affordable, and we're ready to service any community that wants to work together and engage.
Sure. I engage with multiple communities and would love to discuss more with you on where and how we could partner or use for the communities.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we should use the term community very loosely, because we're building a platform for organizations and for them to use to talk to their people and get it views on particular things, particular documents. So when we talk about communities, this could be a community of staff, and it doesn't have to be a geographic community. That's where life started with us. But now we've got Matt's strong technology. Yeah, it's just putting on a customer front end for the particular community that yeah, wants to work better together. So yes, I'd love to have a chat, AJ.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, demo night in action. Jana, what's the view from Lisbon on this one?
I think there's definitely a lot of communities to explore in Lisbon. Guys, can you hear me? Okay, you're nodding, so that's true. I have to say, I apologize, I did come a little bit late to the party. So I think I will pass the question to someone else to ask, perhaps.
No problem, no problem. Well, it's good to loop back at the end to Matt just to see how he feels to have his own product put up there on the screen. What do you feel like, Matt?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good demo. Good demo, Neil. Very good. And the product.
I saw a little
great,
click through not working there. Was that user error, or was that?
I think that was it was an authenticated screen. So I think your auth token has expired and you needed to re-authenticate. So that was
I needed to. Yeah, I needed to log back in. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, AJ was getting his tester's twitch at the top of the screen there. He's going, oh no.
Well, not as much as I was twitching, I can tell you.
I was like, he's not doing a live demo, is he? But it was fine. So I think you probably come up against this a lot, Neil, and you have mentioned it a few times. The platform as it is, you want to kind of raise some money to make this more self-serve. At the moment, it's not fully self-serve, and you're already getting comparisons with SurveyMonkey. If you go self-serve, that's moving more into a SurveyMonkey market. I'm not sure you can just argue and say SurveyMonkey is not a good platform. So if someone says, why don't I just use SurveyMonkey to do what you're doing? What's the reason?
Because our raison d'etre is to get informed comment. One of the very first clients that we spoke to and serviced, took money from, said, Neil, we don't just want any comment, we want proper comments. I said, you don't want much, do you? But what they meant was, they wanted us to put the information in front of the people so they could read it, digest it, follow it as far as they wanted before they answered the questions, instead of just, oh, don't like that, without having given the idea a proper seeing to. I mean, yeah, the information doesn't necessarily result in the answer that we're looking for, but it should improve the quality of the answer. So that's the big difference, is we are after informed comment. And there's a whole host of other things that we do that SurveyMonkey can't do. We register people, so we have virtual communities, so we can go back to those communities and ask them a load more questions. And it's an ongoing process, ongoing engagement. We can feed back the results to those communities very easily. Well, the client does, we set it up. So that's something that SurveyMonkey doesn't do. The quality of our reporting is head and shoulders above SurveyMonkey quality. If you've used SurveyMonkey, it's in my experience, perhaps if I'm 10 years out of date, it's not a good experience, but it's cheap.
Thank you. Good answer.
Right. So look, difficult questions like Matt's just asked. I'm gonna try and end off with a difficult question. All right, Neil, so you ready for this one?
Oh no, I can't hear you. You're cutting out.
All right. So if I channel my inner investor DNA and I look at what you're doing, I would say that it's a lot more than an MVP. And so one part of me would say, well, you've done an awful lot with the money that you've raised so far. And another part would say, does he over-engineer things? Can he deploy capital well? So the question is, Neil, are you effectively doing a lot with a little amount of money, or are you over-engineering things at this stage for the company?
I think that if you look at other digital platform providers that are notionally in competition, or we're in competition with Bang the Table, Commonplace, Built ID, yeah, you won't look at this and say this is over-engineered. You might well say Commonplace, Bang the Table, got so much functionality. Yeah, the man in the street, the person in the street user can't do it. They're going to struggle to do a self-service model. Ours is a pretty simple solution, which yeah, it takes about 20 minutes to demo it properly, and the clients can see how simple it is, and how they would work with us to build it and deploy it, and how their communities very easily can understand what the consultation is about, log on, answer the 10, 15, 20 questions, having looked at the supporting information, and left qualitative as well as quantitative responses, which is what the clients are wanting. And then the clients can go back to them again with the results, and go back to them again if they want with more questions, because the whole point about this is that we're empowering communities to improve, to do it for themselves. And yeah, we believe that the communities, given the opportunity, they will do. There's enough people in there who will pick it up and want to go with improving where they live. They've seen COVID and the trauma. They're all moving to Cornwall. They're all getting out of London. They're thinking, why on earth are we earning all this big money? Why have we got houses worth all this money? Let's go. And
they're going to Portugal. They're not going to Cornwall. Come on.
We speak nearly English in Cornwall. So there's one slight advantage over you guys.
But back to my question, are you over-engineering it, or are you just doing really well with the capital?
I don't think so. I think we've, difficult for me to say whether we've spent the money wisely. And you wouldn't expect me to say how much we have spent on it. I mean, I'd be interested in Matt's view. Matt's a great counterweight to us coming forward with, we'd like to do this, Matt, blah, blah, blah. And there's a price about, there's a conversation about price. How much is he going to charge us to do it? Which sometimes brings us back to reality. But very helpfully, that then easily spins into, well, do you really need that? Is that really where you should be going? Is that the best use of this money? And we find a middle road often. I mean, Matt, do you want to comment on that?
So I think generally it's probably not. It's not a case of over-engineering things, because I think we work quite closely with you to make sure we're really looking at the user's goals and objectives. I think, and this does happen with a lot of startups, it's when you're trying to find product market fit, and you're approaching different audiences with different needs and requirements. It's sometimes quite easy to build features and functionalities for each new kind of target audience that you find. And that's probably a case that a lot of startups wander into, and probably a case for GoCollaborate, but there's a number of different user types because of that lack of product market fit. And I'd say that's probably less of an over-engineering and more of kind of a market explore and that aim to try and get some product market fit.
Well, yeah, so with the benefit of hindsight, there are some development we wouldn't have done, but yeah, we haven't got the benefit of hindsight. I hope we learn from it. And but as a piece of kit, even I can build a platform with this. In fact, that's what I've spent the last couple of weeks doing for a client. The guys were too busy. So unfortunately for them, probably unfortunately for Matt as well, somehow I had the logins to the customer portal to be able to build things. So I went in and cracked on. It just cost us a little bit. We have to rework some stuff I've done. But that really shows how easy it is to do to build what you're seeing in front of your eyes now. So if that's not an indicator of under-engineered solution, I don't know what is.
And
Thanks, Neil.
I can testify to Neil's IT literacy.
Careful,
so-
I'm paying your bills soon.
Let's keep this content age appropriate, please. Age appropriate. All right. So Neil, if you could stop sharing the screen, we'll sign out to everybody, because we've done our time today and we've shared our 3 great ideas. So I guess we should just close out by Matt. Please remind everybody about what the competition is that's launched today, and everybody's got 4 weeks to put in for, right?
Yeah, so it's for a two UX UI 2-week design sprints for a founder maybe to explore a new idea, new prototype or visual, or for an existing product to explore a new functionality. And that's going live today. So we get links out there. It's highyield.co.uk/canopy. We're gonna announce the winner at the next day.
Wonderful. Thanks, Matt. And we'll share the link when we share the YouTube recording later. And I just want to say thanks to our friends in India, thanks to our friends from Cornwall who are in Spain, and thanks to our friends from Portugal who are in Portugal. And thanks to everybody who's joined on the panel and the webinar and Facebook Live today. I give you all a silly wave to say goodbye, and we'll see you all on the 3rd Wednesday of next month, when we'll have another 3 to 5 startups doing exactly what you guys did. And I hope when you sit down with a coffee after this, you can reflect and say, do you know what, I might have learned something from today, and I think I'm going to do this thing maybe a little differently as a result. But thank you, everybody. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.